Hey, what's up everybody, Slamrack35 here, and I was just on YouTube watching some videos when I had noticed this video off to the side. I clicked on it to check it out, and I noticed that this video mirrors a lot of what I've been feeling about Tekken 8 myself, so I decided to make a video about it. This video in particular is by Mike Hollow, so we're going to break it down and talk a little bit about it.
He responded saying it was Tekken's skill to block well, avoid well, patience well, but Tekken 8 is no reward even if you block well, you will lose health. Good movements cannot be rewarded. Aggressive is not possible for all characters, balance between attack and defense is tilted to one side. Now in my personal opinion, I actually agree with that. Being defensively minded in this game is obviously not rewarded because the more you defend, the more likely you are to lose health. Obviously this game has chip damage, it goes into white health. Some characters do a lot more chip damage than others, or particular moves do a lot more chip damage than others, and some moves are plus on block so they can spam it over and over again, and so being a defensive player is not rewarded. The name of the game of Tekken 8 is aggression.
And this right here is my biggest overall issue with Tekken 8. For me, I don't have an overly aggressive playstyle. I like to play at a much more patient, slower paced and methodical of a playstyle. And I like to wait out my opponent and wait until either they make a mistake or until I see an opening I feel like I can take advantage of. You can't do that in Tekken 8. With the way Tekken 8 plays, you have to be like constantly going in for attacks. Can't take a break, can't breathe, just rush in and attack. And like the both of them said, it feels unbalanced if you don't have that kind of a play style. So I definitely agree with them on that. This game just feels like if you aren't going in aggressively, you're just going to get rushed down on and have the other player just constantly on top of you. And from that point, it's just a prayer match, hoping you can get out of it or get some hits in yourself to stop it. And if you throw in the heat mechanic on top of that, forget about it.
Thank you. Would you think delete chip damage is enough to make Tekken equal Tekken again, or you think more change is needed? I don't think Nee actually responded to that, but in my personal opinion, I think deleting chip damage would be a good thing. I know it's not for everyone. I know some people really like the chip damage. I find it very weird in Tekken, but everybody's got their own opinions on that.
Yeah, I agree with this too. I hate chip damage in Tekken. As a matter of fact, I hate chip damage in fighting games in general. It's always been a thing that kind of annoyed me whenever I see it in other fighters. I just never liked the concept of chip damage. And Tekken was never known for having chip damage in it. It's one of the things I liked about Tekken. Though I do think they offer the option to turn chip damage on in some of the earlier installments. Typically it was turned off by default. So having to deal with chip in this game just makes it all the more annoying to play.
100% in prior Tekkens, if you were losing to an opponent / character, you can improve your gameplay with practicing better defense, movement, punishing, matchup knowledge, etc. But in Tekken 8, so many situations are just forced 50-50s and it ends up as just a guessing game, no skill required. Again, this is a sentiment you see shared across many players, both pro and casual. They feel like they're forced into situations.
Bro. This right here is another highly aggravating thing about playing this game. In every fighting game, people always say, hit the lab, practice up your character, learn your character. And trust me, I've been in there and I've been labbing. Good luck pulling that off against moving opponents with this game's mechanics. And that's the thing. I'm actually taking my time to actually try and learn how to play the character and take the time to try to learn combos and launchers. Like I said before, I don't really play a lot of fighters. I'm not really all the best at them. I don't even really try to look too deep into the command list because who the hell has time to memorize all those damn buttons and directions? You've seen some of these fighting games command lists? It's crazy out there. But with the way this game plays and how it rewards such aggressiveness, I feel like trying to learn to actually how to play the game just doesn't end up working well. Just do a bunch of unga bunga ooga booga moves and combos and you'll be just fine. Like, why think? It's like I'm being punished by the game for daring to take my own time to actually try to learn stuff. It's like the game is saying,
nigga, did I just catch you
trying to be good at the game?
about this game. So somebody complaining is not indicative of a skill issue. It doesn't mean that they are particularly bad at the game or that they're losing to people. It might just mean that A, they're struggling to find the fun in the game, or B, they've identified issues that they think will come to cause this game problems down the line. I definitely don't think Tekken 8 is a harder game to play than Tekken 7. I think it's just a more frustrating game to play. I think there's a lot of things in place in this game that make it more frustrating and an overall frustrating experience, especially for people that are training online, because I do think ranked is a pretty good place to train.
You know, this is also something I've been thinking about with this game. So I jumped into Tekken 7 really late. Like, the first time I actually finally got around to playing it was pretty much when I uploaded my platinum video for it. You know, when I was getting all the footage for that, that was pretty much my first time not only playing Tekken 7, but just for playing Tekken in general in a really long time. And as late as I got into that game, when I started playing online against other people, which, you know, at this point it was probably mainly just the regulars, I honestly was doing pretty decent. You know, like I said before, I'm not the greatest at fighting games, but I've at least played Tekken before when I was growing up. You know, so I'm at least familiar with the game and how it typically plays. You know, I even uploaded a couple of like random online matches of Tekken 7, you know, that I had, and I did pretty all right in those matches. You know, so I go online, I'm able to win a few matches on there. I don't win them all, obviously, but, you know, I do well enough to take away a few victories. But then I get on to Tekken 8 online, and it's just pain, bro. Like, playing Tekken 8 online is an exercise in pure frustration. It's like no matter what I do, I can barely even win something. And what this guy says here pretty much clarifies what I've been feeling with the game, and it just confuses me. Like, when I played Tekken 7, I didn't like the game's story mode, but the online was pretty alright. And here with Tekken 8, I really liked this game's story mode. It was way better than 7's, but I don't like Tekken 8's online. I had more fun playing 9-year-old Tekken 7 online than I do playing the newest game, and it's just the way this game is designed and the type of playstyle rewards makes it such a frustrating and unfun game to even play.
Says more fun than Tekken 7 for casual players equals millions of players. It is good to see Tekken developers decided to make a real fun game for casuals, not pros. Making games for pros was a moronic idea from the beginning. Some players think balanced game equals fun, but nope. We played many fun but unbalanced games before. Tekken 7 was balanced but no fun game at the end. Poke all day, guard all day. Bye bye Kansas. I think I disagree with this one. I think Tekken 7 was a lot of fun, and I think that's why it sold 11 million copies. I don't know if dumbing down your game actually converts to good sales. We saw this with Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5 dumbed itself down heavily from Street Fighter 4, and in the initial stages it really struggled. Now over time Street Fighter 5 picked up steam, but I don't think dumbing it down actually helps. I think initially, if the game is presented well, people will buy it, and Tekken 8 was presented in a very, very nice way.
I agree with that, and this actually kind of dips into what I touched on in my previous video, if you guys caught that one, and it's that when a game or something goes very mainstream popular, it's that I feel like the game kind of like, quote, loses its identity, or feels like it has to change its core values or core things about it, or whatever it was that made it what it was, in order to cater to the casual crowd and get more people into it. Now, something being more popular and having more people get into it isn't inherently a bad thing. It's just that, like I said, when something is more mainstream, it seems like it has to dumb itself down to bring in the more general crowd of people. Like, the way I like to think of it is, like, just use like Call of Duty as an example. Like, Call of Duty, when Call of Duty really got popular, it seems like all the other game studios dumbed down their games in order to appeal to the Call of Duty crowd and get them into playing the game. You know, gameplay is not too difficult or anything, or you spend too much time wandering around through levels and stuff. It's just straightforward, constant action and explosions and all that type of stuff, you know, to pull in the COD crowd. And while that's not always a bad thing, it can kind of ruin it for the more, you know, hardcore or the non-casual crowd of players. I feel like their game has been, like, I guess kind of like sacrificed in a way, for lack of a better term, in a way to, you know, get a larger crowd. You know, I see people say they wish either, you know, fighting games or certain other games would be more mainstream or more popular, and I'm just like, man, that's a double-edged sword. Like, on the one hand, you know, you get more people to talk about the thing you're really into, which is cool. You know, it's always a good thing to have more people, have, you know, a bigger community and a bigger crowd to, like, you know, talk about games and, you know, be a part of the fan base and stuff. That's cool. But on the other hand, that comes with the other side of that is like you gotta deal with the possible outcomes of such things like that. Which is like currently being discussed right now with Tekken 8 in particular, or how bad some fandoms can get for things that become really popular. I'm sure you guys have either seen or heard about fandoms like that, or maybe you've been fortunate to be enough to be a part of a fandom like that just gets crazy insane because whatever the thing is just so incredibly popular. It just attracts like all kinds of people, even the freaking crazy ones. But basically, yeah, a game dumbing itself down for the casuals isn't always a good thing, and sometimes it can ruin the fundamentals for the regular/legacy players. And to be honest, not every game needs to be made for a casual audience. Like, just let some games have that more, hardcore, dedicated audience that you really got to take the time to earn the skill to play the game at a competent level. Now, not every game needs to be made for every single person on the planet to be able to play it. And I'm by no means a pro. I do not consider myself a pro at all. I'm just a regular, casual Tekken player myself. I'm just a bit more invested into Tekken than normal.
Me wants Tekken to be a bit more defensive, maybe offer more playstyles, which I don't actually think is a bad thing. I don't think it's a good idea to alienate a type of playstyle, so I don't think I completely agree with what Rip is saying here. I think you can still have high aggression, but just reward defensive players. Defensive players really right now have been put on the back foot. If you're defending in this game, you're losing because
this man just summed up my whole complaint and issue with Tekken 8 that I talked about earlier in this video in one fell sentence. He said,
if you're defending in this game, you're losing.
And that's honestly what it feels like too. Like I said, I have a more defensive and methodical playstyle when it comes to Tekken myself. And with how this game is, it just feels like I'm being punished for that. This game only rewards one type of playstyle, and I feel like I can't even compete with it with the way I play. But yeah, that's pretty much most of what I wanted to talk about with this video. Now, this was only a small bits and pieces of Hollow's video that I decided to talk about. There's a lot more to it itself with other topics of discussion, and he goes into further detail on his points and things like that. So I'll leave a link to his full video down in the description of this video, so you guys can get the full extent of what he's talking about and stuff. And if you have any vested interest in Tekken or fighting games in general, I'd highly recommend you go down there and check out his video. It's a really good video. But that was a pretty good reason to talk about my current feelings towards Tekken 8 right now. I don't currently like playing this game online, and I don't even really boot it up that much anymore, as I'm just playing other things at the moment anyways, on top of all this other stuff we talked about with it. And it kind of sucks because, I was really looking forward to uploading some online matches for you guys and making some Tekken 8 videos, but trying to play this game online right now is just interactive depression. Like, why, Harada? Why have you forsaken us? Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. StepMac35 and I'm out. Please don't forget to rate and comment and subscribe. Leave a comment with your guys' thoughts about this. If you guys play Tekken 8 or anything, do you guys agree with it or disagree or what? But I'm out. Peace.